We'll begin with the lightest values to create a soft first wash. For this tender leaf over here, I'm using a very diluted yellow ochre at the top and sap green at the bottom of the leaf. The key to beautiful foliage is variety in greens. Instead of using just one flat green, we can mix warm greens and dark cool greens. But we can also use pre-mixed greens like sap green and hooker's green, and use lemon yellow to enhance the warmth of sap green, and use, for instance, Windsor violet to deepen the coolness of hooker's green. So for this first layer, you can paint on dry paper or wet paper, whichever is more comfortable to you. Here I'm painting on dry paper, which is normally called the wet on dry technique, and I'm using a very diluted mix of sap green with lemon yellow. Since my source of light is on the top left, so all the leaves that are at the top and on the left side of the painting can lean more to the warmer side with more yellow in them. We can always drop a small amount of hooker's green at the base of the leaf, because even within the same leaf, there are always some variations in color temperature. And for those leaves which are below other leaves, we can use a very diluted hooker's green first. Drop in some more hooker's green at the base of the leaf and use Windsor violet to enhance the coolness of the areas which are in the shadow. For those new leaves or baby leaves, I'm always using a combination of very diluted sap green with lemon yellow or sap green with yellow ochre, both very diluted, and always mixing them on paper. Although the flower is very tiny, but it provides a beautiful focal point. I'm using the wet on wet technique, which means I applied a layer of clear water first before applying Windsor violet. I'm also leaving areas with white paper showing to create some beautiful highlights in the petals. This brush is very slightly damp and I'm spreading out the bristles. Now very gently I'm passing over the areas to connect the two areas without completely removing the highlight. I'm using a touch of lemon yellow at the center, which is complementary to violet, so that it helps to make violet look more vibrant. Once the first layer and the petals are completely dry, we can come back with the same Windsor violet, a little bit thicker consistency, and enhance the shadow areas at the base of the petals and the areas where the petals fold. Once the first layer is completely dry, we'll now start building dimension. I'm using a mixture of hooker's green with indigo to create a rich shadow color, but you can also use ultramarine blue or Windsor violet. Using a smaller brush, start by adding shadows where leaves overlap or connect with stems. Notice that darker greens sit beneath lighter leaves. This layering creates depth without needing complicated detail. You can always use a slightly damp brush to soften the edges. Use glazing here, which means applying transparent layers over dry paint, because glazing allows you to intensify values gradually while keeping the watercolor luminous. For example, here, to darken the area at the base of the leaf, I'm using a mixture of hooker's green with indigo, quite dilute, on dry paper, and applying this glazing method to increase the value here. Now to add some subtle texture and vein details, I'm going to show you a technique which is much easier than the negative painting technique. First, you need to lift some paint to create the midrib and the small veins. For that, I'm using a slightly damp brush and a tissue paper to lift paint. Then I created a darker green mixture using hooker's green with a small amount of indigo. With a quite dilute consistency, I'm using this green mixture to enhance the base of the areas where the veins connect with the midrib. And I'm using a very slightly damp brush to soften the edges. This variation helps to create foliage that looks more natural. For softer leaves in the background, keep details minimal. Reserve your sharpest edges and strongest contrast for focal areas near the flower. This creates atmospheric depth and guides the viewer's eye naturally through the composition. Remember, more water creates softness and transparency, and less water creates stronger definition. This balance between soft and sharp is what makes watercolor foliage feel alive. Let's not forget the stems. You can mix a deeper, slightly earthy green using sap green and indigo. Try to use confident fluid strokes and paint the stems in one motion whenever possible. Notice how the stems weave through the composition and connect all the leaves together. They act almost like visual pathways through the painting. Remember to add a slightly thicker consistency paint where the stems intersect or disappear behind leaves. These tiny shadows help anchor everything together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon in the next tutorial. Bye for now.